What if I told you that before the pyramids, before written history, there was a civilization so advanced, so mysterious? It might rewrite everything we think we know about human origins. Who were they? Where did they come from? And why did they disappear without a trace? From ancient ruins older than history itself, to technology that seems impossible for its time, the evidence is scattered across our planet. But when you connect the pieces, a hidden story begins to emerge. Today we're uncovering the 6 greatest mysteries of human origins, hidden evidence of ancient civilizations. The truth might be stranger and far more dangerous than you ever imagined. Number Göbekli Tepe, the world's oldest temple that shouldn't exist. Imagine finding a temple, so old it makes the pyramids look like modern architecture. A site built over 11,000 years ago, long before writing, agriculture, or even cities were supposed to exist. That's Göbekli Tepe, and it's rewriting the story of human civilization. Discovered in the hills of southeastern Turkey in the 1990s, Göbekli Tepe is a massive complex of stone circles, carved pillars, and mysterious symbols. Some of these pillars weigh more than 20 tons, and yet they were transported and positioned perfectly, without the wheel, metal tools, or beasts of burden. The carvings are even stranger. Snakes, foxes, vultures, and abstract shapes cover the stones. Many researchers believe these symbols could be the earliest known form of proto-writing, a language lost to time. And here's the kicker. Göbekli Tepe was built by hunter-gatherers. Not farmers, not city dwellers, people we thought were primitive. So how did they organize the labor, the planning, and the engineering to create something so monumental? This site forces us to rethink everything we believed about the timeline of human development. Because according to our history books, complex societies didn't appear until around 5,000 years ago. Yet here we have proof of a sophisticated culture more than twice as old. And then, there's the mystery of its burial. Around 8,000 BC, Göbekli Tepe was deliberately buried under tons of soil. Not abandoned, not destroyed by invaders. Carefully, intentionally hidden, like someone didn't want it to be found. Even more puzzling, no signs of permanent settlement have been found nearby. This wasn't a city, it was a gathering place. Some archaeologists think it could have been a center for rituals or ceremonies that united scattered tribes from across the region. Others believe it may hold astronomical alignments, pointing to the stars and constellations, marking solstices and equinoxes. If that's true, then 11,000 years ago humans were already mapping the skies, before we even planted our first crops. Göbekli Tepe challenges the entire linear progression model of civilization. It suggests that advanced knowledge, organization, and maybe even religion existed far earlier than we ever imagined. And here's the most chilling thought. If something this sophisticated was built so long ago, what other civilizations might have risen and fallen? Before recorded history even began? We've only excavated about 5% of Göbekli Tepe. The rest still lies buried, waiting. What we uncover next could completely rewrite the history of the world. Number 5, the Sumerians and the Anunnaki mystery. Long before Egypt rose from the sands, before the Great Wall of China, there was a civilization in Mesopotamia so advanced it seemed to appear out of nowhere. The Sumerians. Around 4500 BC, the Sumerians built the world's first known cities, Ur, Uruk, Eridu. They invented writing, created complex legal codes, and developed advanced mathematics, astronomy, and irrigation systems. According to mainstream history, they were simply the first civilization. But their own records tell a much stranger story. On thousands of clay tablets written in cuneiform, the Sumerians described their gods, the Anunnaki. Not distant, invisible deities, but beings who walked among them. The texts say these Anunnaki descended from the heavens to teach humanity knowledge, laws, and technology. Some ancient astronaut theorists claim these were not gods at all, but visitors from another world. Here's where it gets even more unsettling. The Sumerians recorded detailed astronomical knowledge. like the existence of planets that modern science wouldn't discover for thousands of years. How could they know about Uranus, Neptune, or even Pluto without telescopes? And why did their star maps show a mysterious Planet X orbiting beyond the known solar system? Even more puzzling is their sudden rise. In archaeological records, there's almost no gradual development leading to Sumerian culture. It's as if advanced urban life, writing, and science appeared almost overnight. Historians still debate whether this was a unique cultural leap, or the inheritance of knowledge from an earlier, lost civilization. Some researchers point to the Sumerian flood myth, eerily similar to the story of Noah's Ark, as evidence that they preserved memories of cataclysmic events far older than their own time. Others believe the Anunnaki were symbolic representations of ancient rulers or priests. But even then, the level of detail and technology in their myths is extraordinary. Of course, mainstream archaeology rejects the alien theory. They argue that human ingenuity alone could have produced the Sumerian miracle. But the truth is, we still don't know exactly how it all began. Were the Sumerians the first humans to invent civilization from scratch? Or the inheritors of a forgotten knowledge, passed down from a people or beings long vanished from Earth? The ruins of Uruk and Eridu still stand in the Iraqi desert, silent under the sun. But the cuneiform tablets remain, whispering a story. Of gods, stars, and a beginning far stranger than history dares to admit. Number 4. The Global Megalith Mystery. Stone giants across the world. From the windswept plains of Peru to a remote island in the Pacific to a tiny archipelago in the Mediterranean, massive stone structures rise, defying time, logic, and even our understanding of ancient technology. We call them megaliths, structures built from stones so large modern cranes would struggle to lift them. But here's the strange part. They appear all over the world, thousands of miles apart. And many were built in roughly the same prehistoric period. In Peru, the fortress of Sacsayhuaman is made from stones weighing over 100 tons, cut with such precision that not even a sheet of paper fits between them. No mortar, no visible tool marks. And they've survived centuries of earthquakes without crumbling. Halfway across the world on the island of Malta. The Gantia temples stand as some of the oldest freestanding structures on Earth, older than Stonehenge, older than the pyramids. Legend says they were built by giants in a single day. Archaeologists say they were the work of Neolithic farmers. But no one knows how they moved stones that massive with Stone Age tools. And then there's Easter Island, home to the iconic Moai statues, towering stone heads weighing up to 80 tons each. The Rapa Nui people somehow transported them miles from the quarry, across rugged terrain, without wheels or beasts of burden. Some believe they walked the statues upright using ropes. A theory that works in experiments, but still leaves questions about scale and manpower. Here's where it gets even stranger. Many of these sites share similar architectural features. Precise stone cutting, astronomical alignments, and unexplained transportation methods. Despite being oceans apart and built by cultures that, according to history, never met. How is it possible that Neolithic builders on different continents with no contact created such similar megalithic structures? Is this a case of parallel human ingenuity, or does it point to a shared source of knowledge? An older global civilization that predated recorded history? Some researchers suggest these megaliths might have been markers, part of a worldwide network for navigation or energy transmission. Others tie them to cataclysmic events, suggesting the survivors of an earlier advanced culture spread across the globe, leaving behind fragments of their technology and architecture. Mainstream archaeology explains them as independent developments, human determination and clever engineering. But even then, the precision, scale, and mysterious purpose of these monuments leave plenty of unanswered questions. Whether they were temples, observatories, or something far more advanced, one thing is certain. The megaliths are silent witnesses to a chapter of human history we still don't fully understand. And if these stone giants could talk, they might tell us a story that links all ancient civilizations into one hidden origin. Number 3. The ancient maps that shouldn't exist. In 1513, a Turkish admiral named Piri Reis drew a map that shocked the modern world. It showed the coastlines of South America and Africa with stunning accuracy. But here's the impossible part. It also depicted the northern coastline of Antarctica, without ice. Mainstream history tells us Antarctica was discovered in 1820, and it's been covered in ice for thousands of years. So how could a map from the early 16th century show it ice-free? The Piri Reis map wasn't the only one. The Orantes Fine map of 1531, the Boache map of 1737, and even older sources all seem to suggest that someone long before us had mapped the world in ways that shouldn't have been possible. Historians know that Piri Reis compiled his map using older charts. Some he claimed were from ancient times, even before the Great Flood. In his own notes, he wrote that these source maps were drawn in the days of Alexander the Great, or even earlier. But who could have created such detailed global charts in prehistoric times? To accurately map coastlines, you need advanced navigation. Precise longitude measurements, astronomical observations, and a deep understanding of Earth's curvature. None of these were supposedly available until the 18th century. Some researchers believe these maps are remnants of a lost maritime civilization, one capable of global exploration thousands of years ago. Others argue they could be the preserved knowledge of ancient seafarers like the Phoenicians, or even older cultures, passed down through generations and recopied over centuries. And then there's the more radical theory, that these maps are evidence of a pre-Ice Age civilization. One that lived when sea levels were lower and Antarctica's coastline was ice-free. If true, that would mean humans, or someone else, were sailing the globe over 12,000 years ago. Mainstream scholars push back, suggesting that these accuracies are coincidental or the result of later additions. But the level of detail, especially in uncharted regions, remains difficult to explain. The most haunting possibility? If ancient maps record a world before the last great cataclysm, they may also hold clues to what happened to that civilization, and whether it could happen again. Some of these maps remain locked away in archives, fragile and fading. Others are on public display, daring us to question the history we've been taught. One thing is certain. The story of exploration didn't begin in the age of discovery. It may have started thousands of years earlier, and the truth is still waiting to be uncovered. Number 2, the lost city beneath the waves. Imagine an entire city hidden under the ocean. Not just a few ruins, an entire network of streets, walls, and temples, now swallowed by the sea. This isn't a scene from Atlantis, it's a real place. And its discovery is rewriting what we thought we knew about the first civilization on Earth. The story begins with fishermen off the coast of India in the Gulf of Kampat. Their sonar equipment picked up something strange, massive geometric shapes lying on the seabed. At first, scientists thought it might just be a natural rock formation. But when divers and underwater drones explored the site, they found patterns too perfect, too deliberate to be natural. Stone blocks carved with incredible precision, ancient walls stretching hundreds of meters. Circular structures that could have been wells or ceremonial sites. Artifacts, beads, pottery shards, and tools dating back more than 9,000 years. That's older than the pyramids of Egypt, older than Stonehenge, even older than the earliest known cities in Mesopotamia. Here's the mystery. If this city really existed back then, it means humans were building advanced settlements thousands of years earlier than historians believed possible. So who built it? And how did it end up underwater? Some researchers believe it was drowned during a massive flood around the end of the last ice age, when melting glaciers caused sea levels to rise by over 100 meters. Others think it could be the real inspiration for the Atlantis legend. The idea that a thriving, advanced culture was wiped out almost overnight, it's both tragic and haunting. What's even more shocking is how much of it remains unexplored. The strong currents and murky waters make excavation extremely difficult, meaning most of this ancient city's secrets are still buried beneath layers of sand and silt, waiting to be uncovered. For now, the lost city of the Gulf of Combat is a tantalizing glimpse into a forgotten chapter of human history. One that hints at a civilization older, more advanced, and more mysterious than we ever imagined. And if this is what's hiding underwater, what else could be out there, waiting to be found? Number 1. The ancient pyramid of the Amazon. Deep in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, where sunlight barely touches the ground and the air is thick with mist and mystery, lies a structure that shouldn't exist, a massive stone pyramid, buried beneath layers of soil, roots, and time. Not the work of the Maya or the Inca, but something far older. The story began when satellite images revealed strange geometric shapes in the dense jungle of Brazil. Perfectly straight lines, sharp angles, and a central mound, too symmetrical to be natural. Archaeologists were skeptical. Many believed it was just a hill. But when teams cut through the jungle and began to dig, they uncovered huge blocks of stone stacked with mathematical precision. The base of the structure measures over 80 meters across. Its orientation? Perfectly aligned with the cardinal directions, north, south, east, and west. Exactly like the Great Pyramid of Giza. Carbon dating of nearby artifacts, pottery, stone tools, and carvings suggests it could be at least 10,000 years old. That's thousands of years before the rise of the Inca, and even before most known civilizations in the Americas. Here's the mystery. The Amazon has always been thought of as a wild, untouched wilderness. But this discovery hints at a lost civilization, one capable of large-scale construction, engineering, and perhaps even astronomy. Some believe it was built by an unknown pre-Columbian culture that vanished long before Europeans arrived. Others suggest it could be linked to the legend of El Dorado. Not a city of gold, but a powerful, advanced society swallowed by the jungle. What's even stranger, locals speak of an ancient people they call the Builders, a race that raised mountains before disappearing into the forest. Myth or a memory passed down through countless generations? Much of the pyramid remains unexcavated, hidden under centuries of rainforest growth. And with the Amazon rapidly disappearing, we may lose this ancient secret before we fully uncover it. If the jungle still hides pyramids, what else could be lurking under the green veil? Göbekli Tepe, the Sumerians, the megaliths. The forbidden maps, the sunken cities, and even the lost pyramids of the Amazon. They all point to the same possibility. That human history isn't a straight line of progress. It's a cycle. Civilizations rise, fall, and vanish. Sometimes leaving only whispers in stone, myths in old texts, or ruins buried under earth and sea. The question is not whether a forgotten civilization once walked this planet, but how many times it has happened and whether we're next in line. This is Top Bit, and you've just seen some of the most shocking clues that Earth's first civilization may have been far more advanced than we ever imagined. So, which of these discoveries blew your mind the most? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video so more people can uncover the truth hidden beneath our world.